All right, guys, it is an absolute pleasure to have the three faces that I see on the screen surrounding me. I'm going to let each of you introduce yourself, but this video I think is going to be one of the most valuable ones that we've put on the YAA channel, and that's because each of you three, you're helping thousands of members in our community every single day. You're helping them navigate and negotiate the best car deal possible in the most trying and challenging times. It looks like, Justice, you've helped a lot of members. You're in a very fancy home. Why don't you introduce yourself, what your role is here at YAA, your experience in automotive, and then for today's video, share a story or two about some of the experiences you've had in this market with our members and the successes that they've been able to have.
Yeah, so as you said, I'm Justice. I am a YAA advocate slash coach. I do a lot of the live chats and take some phone calls nowadays. I can be seen around the community a little bit. So I've been on for quite a while now. I come most immediately from being a Toyota car salesman. Sorry about that, everybody, but I'm trying to make up for it with YAA here. Actually enjoyed my time with all my customers at the dealership. Actually, that's where I found Zach and Ray through my salesmanship at the dealership, who didn't train me much. So I started looking at YouTube videos, found Ray and Zach, started using the market price report with my customers and helping coaching them get ready for my sales manager. Then when I left, it just seemed obvious that I should be helping a lot more people get good deals. So I'm very happy to be here. Love YAA. Love that, the people who come here for, watching Ray and Zach's YouTube videos, it is very much like that as a company. That's what you get here, and it still feels like you're just part of that family, and it's amazing. That as far as, my work here goes, I get to help people all the time, which is wonderful, educate them in the buying process and how to negotiate and what to expect in that process. Get to point them off to Kimberly's videos and some of Ray and Zach's videos, which are all great. One of the cases that I think about lately is Rachel and Steve. I don't know if you guys know which one I'm talking about, with the RAV4 in Florida. So they went to, I think it was 20 dealers in Florida, 10 dealers in South Carolina, where they're moving to, where everyone was just charging over. I think the cheapest RAV4 they could find was $35,500, like in both states, and they were all marked up. So we kept looking and looking. They wanted to pay cash. They made the mistake of telling a couple dealers that up front. So we had to walk away from those dealers because you never tell them up front you're paying cash. They need to know that they're going to make some money off you in the finance office. But we finally found one in Florida, not too far from where they were, actually. We negotiated a good price. What makes the story unique for me and what makes it a little bit different than a lot of the success stories is it was still $1,500 in extra fees that they charged, but it was $33,000. So it was the lowest priced vehicle that they could find in 2 states, searching everywhere. And it was an on the lot vehicle they needed because they were about to move and they needed to get up. So they couldn't wait 6 months to order one. So they had to find an on lot, and they had to search far and wide and do a lot of negotiations. When they even found this deal, it was marked up more than some of the others, and they negotiated. They got it down to MSRP, and then got into F&I and told them they were paying cash, and all of a sudden the price went back up. They tried to negotiate that, and they said, okay, what happens if we finance? The F&I person told them, well, if they finance, they'll get it down to MSRP, but they were going to pay that $1,500 in finance charges. And so we talked about looking for a prepayment penalty to see if, they took the finance and then paid it off. But they're in, help me out, Mario, where are they? It was Southeast Toyota, is that what it was?
Yes, a distributor, yeah.
Yeah, Southeast distributor. So they're very captive down there in Florida with that. They do have a prepayment penalty there. So the prepayment penalty says you owe all the interest plus $75 if you prepay it. So that sort of stopped us there. And I ended up talking to the F&I manager directly myself on the phone, trying to figure out how this was going to work and what the deal was going to look like. And she was very, very upfront and very honest that this was the fee they were going to make no matter what. So if they wanted to pay cash, the MSRP would go up. If they wanted to finance, these were the points they were going to take on it. And so they were going to make this $1,500 no matter what was going to happen. We talked about it. Rachel and Steve and I got back on the phone. They stepped out of the office. We talked about it. This still being $1,500 cheaper than every other deal they could find out of almost 30 dealerships. We decided to take it. I think about this one in just, a good deal isn't always 100% the most money you can save. They could have gotten it for MSRP, no problem, but they couldn't wait. And they did all their research, and this was the best deal they could find in 2 states.
And
So
it's
that's
perfect
that's just
example,
my opinion.
Justice, of negotiating the out the door price.
Yeah, I mean,
Who cares if the advertised price is X, and then and you even shared it in that story, and it's so great that you were there to kind of like coach and be a sounding board for Rachel and Steve, in the sense that like the price was changing whether they financed with them or not. That's like, and we've heard a lot of stories, and I don't know, maybe I'm forward promoting Phil to a story that you might share. I'm not sure, but we hear stories about, hey, the finance rate or the out the door price will actually go down if you finance with us, which is illegal, but it happens, but and it all comes back to, when you're buying a car, you're actually buying so much more. You're buying an interest rate, you're buying the products they try and attach onto it, you're buying the fees. That's why we practice what we preach. We say negotiate the out the door price. Perfect example of that.
absolutely, absolutely. And there's, as much as they shouldn't have done that in this deal, man, it was still way better than what everyone else was offering in that. And that's not even to say that those dealers weren't going to try to pull more, because the dealers that were charging more than this deal, that was just the advertised rate. We don't even know what they were going to do with the back end. If they pulled these tactics on the back end, then this would have been, $3, $4, $5,000 cheaper.
Definitely.
So it's important to know what you're getting into and how to negotiate that.
All right. So Phil, Justice sold Toyotas for a time, and now he's a superhero that's out there for good. What's your story? And then actually, yeah, what's your story? What have you seen in the community recently, and how have you been able to help people?
Well, hey everyone, I'm Phil. Zach, thanks for bringing us three together. I really appreciate it. It gives us an opportunity to, have everyone meet us. So I'm thankful for that. So I used to work for Ford Credit. Did that for about 3 years, and I originated loans and leases, and also talked to dealerships on a daily basis, talking with finance managers, being able to put together deals on the finance side. After I left Ford Credit, like I said, I was with them for about 3 years. After that, I just became someone who liked to spend money on cars. So I was buying several cars every year, and I was in the dealership more times than I really cared to be. But I gained a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience on the front side, being able to, put together all those deals and buy the cars that I was able to buy. Through that process of doing all my shopping, I came across YAA and came across the channel and said, these guys are legit, and provided a wealth of information and help. And I was like, well, I'm gonna check these guys out. So I go to the site, I join up, and there's a lot of tools on there that help me navigate and to be able to find what I'm looking for, and to get some vital information. So then from there, I was like, you know what? I want to be a part of this, and I want to be a part to be able to help people and provide my knowledge that I've accumulated over the years, and to be a part and help everyone here. You'll see me just as Justice in the chats. I'll be doing phone calls in the community forums, helping people out, as well as if anyone needs a quote for a VSC, which I know we're going to be automating that soon. Still, nonetheless, if you need help with that, we're always available for that. As far as helping people out. One recent story, actually within the last couple of days, I was talking to a first-time car buyer who went into a Chevrolet dealership looking, I think it was a 2019 Equinox. And when he got into the finance office, now mind you, this is a member who credit score is about a 720 plus. So he's going to be qualifying for the better rate. And so basically they qualified him because he hadn't bought a car before. He still has good credit, just hasn't bought a car. And they qualified him they sold him on a 9% rate for 60 months with 20% down. So that puts the bank in a good position and, still 9%. Then they proceeded to say, well, we can buy down that rate if you choose to buy our products, our warranty product and other insurance products, to a tune of about $3,600. This was on a weekend. He proceeded to buy the car. Then he reaches out on Monday morning in just a panic, right? Because he's like, I think I got taken advantage of. He went to Capital One to try to get pre-approved. He was pre-approved at a 3.8% interest rate. So he's already set up knowing that the dealership lied to them, basically indicating that he can't qualify for a lower rate unless he buys the warranty products, right? Because the dealership portrayed that, well, it's in the best interest of the bank to have the customer buy that. Well, that's obviously not true. I talked to him. He actually ended up going back into the dealership. They worked it out to take all those products off and reduce his interest rate. I think it was like 3.8%. But the moral of the story here is that they're out there, they're taking advantage. And if you're unaware, it's just going to happen. You're going to walk out and you're going to be spending thousands in interest and thousands on the back end with the warranty products. After I had already talked to them, let them know, hey, they can't do this. Go in with the knowledge, go in with the confidence, and able to stand up to these guys. And he did it, and he came out much better than he was when he got the car.
I mean, Phil, that's like a mortgage payment or a rent check or
sure.
Hell, that's like 5 car payments unless you've got a 9% interest loan. But seriously, that's incredible. And think about it for a moment. Like, it's so cool what we're building here. And I'm so thankful for each of you being a part of it, because if that person didn't have you there, do you think they would have had the confidence to have walked back in and had that conversation?
He says no. He says no because he's a first-time car buyer. He was so intimidated by the whole process that he would have just lived with the anxiety short term and just got over it. And knowing that he got taken advantage of and without knowing how to do anything about it.
And that's a little too expensive, a little too rich of a taste in your mouth to just let that sit there and walk away from.
Absolutely.
All right, Mario, AKA Space. I want to hand it off to you, because when we talk about people who are a part of our team, who are really making a difference, and that's beyond just the 4 of us on the screen here, you go above and beyond for our community. Can you share a little bit about your background and actually your stats? Like, if we flipped over your baseball card, your stats tell the story. So we don't even necessarily need the history lesson here, but share your background with us and a recent story from the community that kind of portrays this market and how you've been able to help, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure, Zach. You've probably seen me a couple of times over at the community. I'm there normally reviewing deals or looking at very specific issues with our members and trying to help them out. A little bit of my background is I'm a car guy, always been. I kind of joke with Phil, keeping scorecards of how many cars have we bought in the last 12 months. And I'm a 5, leases and buys. So it's so see, he's winning though. So I just leased a Mini on February 5th, this month. So I know what's out there. I know what's happening. I sympathize, with people because it's really a tough market. But both Phil and I, we're out there, with like normal people, looking at cars. I'm not the best negotiator around. I'm just a normal guy that has information, that knows how to structure a deal, that knows how to approach a dealer and what to do, not to do. So I think you just need to have the basics, the fundamentals to come out ahead. Like Justise says, probably the target is not getting the lowest possible deal, unicorn deals. It's just getting a solid deal that's fair and that it has value for your money. So that's basically my my intent, helping people in the forum, and that's how I approach reviewing each of those deals that we have. And one that comes to mind recently is Eduardo in Florida, the dealer-friendly state. One of those places where you rarely see any kind of flexibility, or they just have the dealerships have so much advantage in that state. But here's Eduardo. He comes over to the forum, and you can look all of this. It's over there. I mean, so every people who want to take a look at the details, just search, and you're gonna find the whole breakdown. And that's good because you see like the steps. So Eduardo comes in, a problem. Hey, I'm leasing a 2019 Countryman. My lease expires in March, so a month from now, or like 2 months. And I want to get another car, under this price. So he's under the clock. So what can I do? So the first thing is, well, let's look at your options, right? So that's what I do normally. So I see the problem. I try to break it down into smaller pieces. The biggest issue here is time. So what I'm thinking is, get an extension, get a lease extension. That's a big plus. An extension buys you time. Time buys you options, and options gives you better outcomes, right? So that's number one. He's just like, yeah, sure. I didn't know about that. Let me call them up. Next step is, well, let's see if your car leases well. It probably won't. I mean, if your replacement car is going to be a lease, but you're going to be paying the same as a finance car, then it doesn't make sense. Right now leasing is really tough. I love leasing. I'm 100% proponent for leasing. I think it's a very misunderstood instrument, which I think most of the time it makes sense. For those who know how to structure a deal. But in these times, it's really tough. It's impossible. It's next to impossible to find a good lease deal for very specific models, probably. So I reviewed that, and I found that there's a $2,000 pre-order rebate plus $1,000 rebate on the Clubman. So I tell him, there's a possibility here with 3,000 with a good manufacturer, 61, I think, and the residual 61, and the manufacturer was okay, not so bad. There's a possibility. Let's move on this, and let's follow the steps. Start sending out your out-the-door quotes. He gets 5. I mean, I really I'm proud of him because he follows it like very methodical. So he follows the steps, and he gets five quotes from fair to really bad, with fees and the $1,000 doc fee and the $2,000 pro pack, whatever, all that stuff. So what he does is he sees what the market is, which I think is the good part, what the market out the real world is looking at, and then we start making offers, right? So I think at the end what he got is we were able to even negotiate the money factor, which is something with leases, especially retail orders. They're going to be leased. It's really tough. Every single dealer, and Phil knows, because we even encounter that when we lease a vehicle, I mean, the first thing they come back is 50 basis points over buy rate, and that's $1,000, or it could be $2,000 extra profit, and you don't even know, you don't even see it. So we were able to leverage these offers. We have 5, and they say, hey, I want 2 conditions. I want buy rate, and I want no dealer equipment on the repair order for the PDI. And only one said yes. That's great. I mean, that's what we wanted. So now he has his racing green Countryman 23. It's gonna come in probably in 3 months. But he has at least he has an assurance that he's gonna get base rate, right? So that's a big plus, and that he's not gonna be surprised, when the car comes in and it's loaded with paint protection and all that stuff that usually dealers are doing right now. So I think when I see that, and someone who has a big problem, doesn't have time, and then he gets traction and gets a good deal, that's, I guess, a big win, for our members, and he was really happy. He even mentioned the next car is going to be a Land Rover, which that's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough one. But I mean, that's what we see every single day, at the community, people who have from difficult to really bad practices, from dealerships, but we're there just to try and correct most of the situations, or to just start over. Also, there's nothing wrong, pulling reverse. Reverse is also movement. So sometimes I tell you, we got to start fresh. That's a big what I enjoy doing, and hopefully we're gonna have more members joining us over there. But if you need any kind of help, especially with leases, that's my area. It really makes a difference when you negotiate a lease. It's nothing difficult. It's nothing out of this world. You just need to have the right information and be confident that you have a target number in your head, and you're just gonna stand by that number. And dealers will deal if it's reasonable and if it's based on real market data. That's what we want to do. We want to give you numbers that are reasonable and that are doable. Not just because Mario says or Phil says. It's because the market, it's at that point. So that's a bit of me and how I normally approach deals. And you mentioned like how if you want to trust us or how do you know? That's basically. I mean, it's just a car guy, and I normally I'm gonna stop buying leasing cars for a year now. My credit is gonna be my FICO score is gonna be smoking a little bit. But I really enjoy it. I really enjoy helping out people, and even though it's not gonna be for me, I do get a lot of enjoyment helping people get their cars at a fair price and being happy. Being happy that they were not taking advantage of it. They had a really reasonable deal.
Thank you for that, Mario. What's going through my head as I'm listening to you is the three of you help hundreds of people a month. And at this point in your connection to YAA, thousands of people. And, one of the things my dad always says is when you go into the dealership, you're always disadvantaged. And in part, it's because you buy a car, you lease a car at most every 3 years, realistically every 5 years. And that salesperson, the F&I manager, and the salesman, everyone sitting across the desk from you, they do it every day. And what's really incredible about the work that the three of you do is, you buy cars or lease cars every day. And for the first time ever, I think that us as consumers, like I would use our service. I mean, I've always just used my dad, and I'm telling you, that is a cheap rate. You don't even have to pay the guy. But seriously, I mean, like the three of you are there to help level that playing field a little bit. And what I especially appreciate is none of you take this from the angle of we got to beat the dealer or we're adversarial or we're fighting them. Nothing like that. No, not in the slightest. It's like, how do we make this equitable? How do we make this fair? And for that, I'm incredibly appreciative and can't thank you enough for your efforts. I think you've collectively saved millions of dollars for hundreds, if not thousands of people's tens of millions of dollars. And it's damn cool to think about that. So I want the three of you back on the show. I want more stories. Hopefully we set up some sort of cadence here. And if anyone wants to get in touch with any of you three, it's pretty simple, right? It's just go to joinyaa.com, go to the community forum, sign up, become a member, leverage chat, now doing the phone calls as well. Give each of you a moment here for a parting shot. I guess, Justice, if you got anything top of mind, go for it, my friend. But from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys for the effort and the work that you do.
Thank you, Zach. Thank you for having us all on the team and setting all this up and setting this all in motion. It's like I said in the beginning, it's a great company to work for. We're out here helping other people every single day, and that's just wonderful. Got a great team. Hi, Ray.
And while you guys are working hard, he's slacking off, leaving the office. But it's okay. It's okay. No one's watching.
It's all right. He has been here for almost 35 seconds. He was
and 70 years. And 70 years. Yeah.
Yeah. So just thank you. I love being part of the company. I love being part of the team. You have amazing hiring ability, and I don't mean me. I mean these two guys right here. The fact that I get to chat with Phil and Mario every day, and I will tell everyone out there, we leverage each other's knowledge all the time. Why should you trust us? We are talking to each other constantly all day long. I tell you how many times I'm on my keyboard. Hey, where's there a good dealer? Hey, what does this deal look like? Or, maybe I know a lot more about Toyota or Ford, but you get to BMW, Mercedes. I ask one of these guys, hey, I know you just leased one, so what is that? We share our knowledge and pool it, and it's an amazing environment to be in. and I really appreciate being here. So thank you, Zach.
Thanks, Justice. Phil?
Yeah, I share everything that Justice just said. It's a privilege and an honor to be working here, to be helping everyone. The fulfillment that I get is second to none, to be able to help everyone find a fair deal in an otherwise horrible market. I'm just beside myself. I mean, it's a great opportunity, and to be again involved with every day with Justice and Mario, and we're out there helping everybody, and we do leverage each other's knowledge to help everyone out there. You know, that's what we're here for, and I love it. Thank you, Zach. I really do.
Now, Mario, this is becoming a bit of a tearjerker at this point, so please set the record straight. Let the folks know what's really going on over here.
No. I sympathize with a lot of people. I experience it right now, and I just wanted to tell them that there are deals out there. There are good dealers out there. Just probably have to do a little bit more work and be more patient. But I think with the right knowledge, and I think YAA is an integral part, of that equation, having the right knowledge and the right support. I don't see, a difficult, vehicle that you cannot buy, right now. I mean, it probably take a bit more time, but I think you could be successful and just have that confidence that you have that support with the whole team at YAA. There's a lot of people working behind the scenes. We're there with members, but I know that you, Zach, and Kimberly, and the whole team, and Arash, everyone's working at building capabilities with those tools and that information and the outreach and the information. I think that's a great support team to have on your side. And I'm really positive. I try to keep positive that, even though you go to a dealer and you see no cars, or you see those markups, there's a way. There's a way, and we're there to help you to find, the right dealer, or the right offer, or the right structure, to get the car, at a really reasonable price, which is going to be, I normally don't like bad deals. So I know that Phil and I were going to be working really hard to find a way, and Justice, to find a way of getting you that vehicle at a really fair price, in today's market.
Well, I love having you guys on my team, and I love knowing that you're on hundreds and thousands of other people's teams as well. You're all stand-up acts, classy people, and you've got really great hearts, and I think we all align because of that. Let's wrap the video here. Appreciate your time. Leave us some comments. Let us know what you want to hear from these guys. Again, their boots are on the ground. They're helping people every single day, and again, can't thank them enough for their efforts. Really appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.